What a championship game. Honestly, it was great. I thought the teams played well. Miami, 10th seed, making it to the championship run was awesome. Honestly, the story from both of these teams was great. College football is always about its story, so I love that. Went 3 for 3 on my parlays this weekend. Ballin'. Had some good NFL luck. Won a nice little 220 off of these games. I figured it'd be a close game. Miami definitely, I felt like they weren't getting a lot of respect, but then right before in the pregame show, 3 out of the 4 guys picked Miami. I was a little worried for my parlay when that happened. But I figured it'd be close. This Miami team is really good. They're really good in the trenches. Huge, massive guys on the O-line. They got a great run game with Mark Fletcher. I think he's going to be a great running back when he ends up coming out of college. He decided to stay for his senior year at Miami. Mendoza played great, but he was ice cold. He really just, I mean, he's the #1 pick. He's going to the Raiders. Best of luck to him. That's definitely a pretty tough situation to thrive in. Al Davis was at the game. That was pretty fucking hilarious. But great game from both of these teams. Both these teams were just so nasty. They really were. You had great defenses, great in the trenches, just awesome stuff. I really felt like this Miami team was built a lot like the old Saban teams. I figured Saban would pick Miami because they were just built like that. Great running team. QB try and take care of the ball. Massive O-line, just try and dominate them physically. Carson Beck definitely kind of sold this game a little bit. He hasn't really been that great. He's been getting a lot of hype and everything else for the past, I don't even know, like 10 games. He's been pretty efficient with the ball. He hasn't really had any turnovers, hasn't he had any huge turnover games like he has in his previous younger years. So in that front, Carson Beck played pretty well, but to beat this Indiana team, I thought that they were really good. They're really veterans. Average age is 23. I think that's the new winning recipe for NIL teams. Try and target those juniors and seniors to build a championship run every year. I think transfer portal is going to be huge. But it really would have taken a great performance from Carson Beck. You would have needed more than just him trying to not turn the ball over. Like, he really needed to perform. Against Ole Miss, he did great. He ran for 50 yards, had 260 in the air. That was exactly what they needed from him this game. Obviously, Miami's a really tough defense. He only had 120 passing yards and 130 passing yards when he played against Ohio State and Texas A&M, who both have solid defenses, and then he went off against Ole Miss. I figured he would struggle a little bit going against Indiana. They were the second-ranked defense for the year. They were phenomenal. Crazy stat about Indiana, somehow, they only had 1 fumble loss this year, and it was in the season opener in the first quarter. Set the record for the most games without a fumble. Kind of a niche stat, but I thought it was a pretty interesting one. That was all game. Even with how huge Miami's offensive line is and how dominating they were, they really were just getting thrashed out there. Carson Beck was under a whole lot of pressure, but Miami was doing the exact same thing on the defense. Like, both these teams matched up really, really well. Solid run games, really strong run teams, and then, couple that with a really solid defense as well. So great matchup for who the matchup ended up being. It was a great championship game. Really entertaining to watch. Stayed super low scoring for majority of the game. It was really just defensive battle. And then when it got later, when people started getting tired, the game was really on the line. People started getting nervous. They started to run up the score a little bit. So great national championship game. Love to watch it. I think that Miami, certainly, obviously, they'll have to get a quarterback. Carson Beck's going to have to leave. I don't think he's going to get drafted real high. I think he will get drafted, but he's not going to get drafted real high. Crazy to think when he was at Georgia, some people were projecting him the #1 overall pick in the first round and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. Mendoza seems to really be the only first-round talent QB coming into this year's draft, and he was ice cold this game, especially when you consider the talent level. Obviously, Miami, they have a lot of blue chippers. They're a great program, really have solid history. Historically, Indiana has lost the second most of any college football team, so the fact that they were able to turn it around like this, one of the best turnarounds ever. They were like 3-10 or 3-9 3 years ago. Then obviously they had the season last year, which was really solid, but everyone called them frauds. And then this year they had one of the best years in college football history. Definitely can't compare them to LSU. There's been a lot of comparisons to LSU. They're not LSU. They're a great team, great story. They deserve everything all the accolades, all the support. They deserve the historical recognition for what they were able to do with the lack of blue chip talent and the crazy turnaround and the dominance this year. Just really stifling on defense, great run game, 45 points a game on offense. Just a great all-around consistent team. So they absolutely deserve historical nods. I think that they are probably a top 5 all-time team. But they're definitely not on LSU's level. Just want to state that now. Everyone always compares to LSU, that 2019 team. It was the standard. Joe Burrow, 6,000 yards, 60 touchdowns. Mendoza had a great year. Obviously, nothing comparably when it comes to stats-wise, but as a winner, gotta respect it, gotta love it. And the dude is just humble. I love how humble he is. He has a great attitude. The Raiders, it doesn't feel like he really fits the Raiders vibe. They're kind of a mean team. Always been known for that, but he's a great guy. Of all people to win the Heisman, I am glad that he won it. Just fantastic stand-up guy. Every time they cut to his mom, it was really just touching. The family, the love. He's a really faithful guy. So he's an awesome quarterback. He can pretty solid, 6'5", obviously, pretty solid prospect. So we'll see how he does in the NFL. But these two teams, I think that Indiana is probably here to stay. I think they are going to be a perennial playoff contender. Whether or not they'll have this level of success without Mendoza, we'll see. They took all of JMU's players. I think it was like 13 of JMU's players ended up transferring to Indiana. Wild. JMU is a great team as a group of 5 team to be able to make the playoff and play Oregon really tough. I think is a standout. It says a lot about JMU and about the group of 5 and what they're doing over there. So I think that's a good recipe for the group of 5 to be able to compete in the NIL era and how college football is. That was a great throw from Beck. How college football is now, to be able to compete with that as a group of 5, you're just going to have to find that talent, build that talent, and understand that that talent's not going to stay. They definitely are going to be really trying every single year to get transfers and everything else. It's going to be really tough for these Group of 5 programs. Anytime you have a standout player who does well, he's going to transfer. So that's the unfortunate part for Group of 5. But I think JMU, what they did this year, they showed that Group of 5 can be competitive. It's an uphill battle for sure. Oh man, that doink was so loud when I was watching that live. But honestly, those are all my key takeaways from this game. Both teams were great. Both teams were built really well for each other. Their strengths played well into each other's strengths. So it was a great game to watch. Miami had a chance at the end of the game to be able to steal this one, and they just were not able to do it. Not quite able to. But great year of college football. It was so exciting. There were so many great stories. Obviously, Miami as the 10 seed making the championship game was a great story. Indiana being historically one of the worst college football teams ever, and being able to go out there and win it, and I think be one of the best teams of all time. It was just a great year. So hopefully we'll have another playoffs like that next year. We'll have LSU with Lane Kiffin. We'll see how Ole Miss's turnaround goes. We'll see how Indiana does without Mendoza. But I think Cignetti is so legit. I think they're going to be a new contender. I think Miami with Mario Cristobal, they're really building something great over there. Without Carson Beck, we'll see who they are able to get. But they've gone from Cam Ward to Carson Beck. They've been solid contenders for a few years now after a couple decades of being pretty bad. So I think Miami is getting there together. I think Mario Cristobal is definitely the guy for their coach over there. So love that. Love what we got next season. I think Ohio State will be back in there. Julian Sayin obviously is staying, and they have a fantastic defense. Every year. Patricia has really built something great over there. So we'll see how next year goes. A lot of questions still. A lot of drama with this year's college football. Love that. College football is all about the stories. So it was a great year. Glad to see it. Clutch kick right here. Just want to go real quick to Carson Beck. Miami's final drive. They honestly were pushing the ball fairly well. They had to get a touchdown. I never was really confident they were going to be able to get down the field. That was a missed opportunity there. He had a ball, got absolutely rocked. So I can't blame him too much for the mistake that he's about to make. But honestly, they had a chance. Miami played great, 10 seed, to be able to go against this Indiana team, who I said is one of the best teams of all time, and they were able to be very competitive, have a chance to win at the end of the game. And then you have Carson Beck with this game-breaking interception on this next play. But they were making solid drive down the field. They had no timeouts. It was going to be really tough. So I can't blame Beck too much for that game-breaking interception. But they were making solid progress. no timeouts, everything else. So great, dramatic ending, great game, start to finish. I loved it. And here's that Graham. Ugh, that was bad. Yeah, at least got to lob it a little bit more, put some more air on there. But Indiana's our 2026 National Championship winner. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to a historical program that is not very good, that has been good. So love that. Love the story. Cignetti actually having emotion in the podium performance, or in the podium award celebration. That was pretty great. He's obviously been known, he's had a bunch of faces this year as being not an emotional guy, being all about business, but he was totally happy for his team, happy for his quarterback. Mendoza was awesome, so it was great to see. Great championship game. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Looking forward to next year's college football season, and I'll see y'all again. I have more NFL stuff, a little Joel Klatt, a little more NFL stuff on my channel. I've got, pause. NFL, college football on my channel. Obviously, we're into the off season. I'm thinking I'm going to get some basketball, NBA content going. And then I have other stuff on there too, economics, political. Check that stuff out too. And I appreciate you guys for watching. If you watched the whole thing, like the video. If it was a great national championship, if you think Indiana is one of the best teams of all time, let me know in the comments. Let's start a discussion. I love that. And then subscribe, guys.